Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today is all about Valentine's Day crafts, decor, and DIYs. And I wanted to start by sharing a little haul of some things I brought in to be able to use in my crafting and decorating. I'm excited for this video because for the past few weeks I've kind of been feeling this creative lull, just feeling a little uninspired, but I recently refound my creative inspiration and I'm excited to start making again. I stopped at a few stores. I went to the thrift store, I went to the dollar store, and I stopped at Michael's. So I'm going to show you just a few finds. I tried not to spend too much. Some of this stuff is also for spring in general, not just for Valentine's Day. So let me jump right into it. Okay, I'll start with the dollar store. So one thing I found at the dollar store, these cute little wood bead wreaths, and I'm really excited to use these because if I shape it right, I can make it into a heart, which is going to be super cute. I've seen people make these on Instagram with the like bead heart shaped wreath, but this is like almost practically pre-made. It just needs a little bending. So love that. I got a couple because I might use them in different places. I also found these cute little wicker hearts at the dollar store, and I think if I update the ribbon a little bit and use them in the right place throughout my house, I think these could be really cute as well. I found some simple red flowers that I'm going to add to some Christmas wreaths to change them into more of a Valentine's Day wreath. And I also just got some wooden hearts that I want to add to those Christmas wreaths as well, along with those red flowers. Found these really cute little chalkboard hearts at the dollar store. I want to incorporate these into my decorating somewhere. I got a couple packages of those. Next we have my Michael's haul, and I think this is the moment I finally felt creatively re-inspired. They refreshed all their florals. Oh, and the spring florals brought new life to my soul, so I picked up a few, and this is what I got. I think they're gorgeous and so beautiful, and I'm going to be using this to make a Valentine's wreath, but it will have some like Valentine's hearts. So I did find this fabric that I'm going to make into little hearts to put in the wreath, and it'll go with these, if you can see that, but I'm going to be able to remove these so that I can update this wreath for spring and for Easter, for different holidays, even maybe for summer. So this wreath will serve more than one purpose. I'll show you really quick the different types of florals I got. First are these cute little spring sprigs, and I know it's not spring, but a girl can wish. I've been really craving spring and flowers and new plants and growth, so I'm going to use fake ones. And then I got these beautiful peonies. I love peonies. My mom grows peonies. They're gorgeous. The good thing is these will last a lot longer than real peonies. There's kind of almost a bigger version of those spring sprigs. So if you look, these are kind of like miniature flowers, and these are a little bit bigger. So I think having different sizes throughout the wreath will really give it a lot of variation and depth. And I have some really pretty eucalyptus leaves, and I got just some other greenery and foliage to fill in. And this will probably last more than just a wreath. I'll probably use this in other little decorations throughout the house, but the florals were 40% off, and these green sprigs were buy two get three free. That's pretty good, honestly. And I also have my teacher's discount and a few other coupons, so it was quite affordable, because if you've ever bought fake florals before, you know they can get pricey. In addition to the florals, I also got some cute ribbon. I love this checkered pattern, I guess. It is so cute. It's kind of like a pinkish coral, so it has more of those orange tones in it, which I prefer. I really like pink with a touch of orange in it. And then I got some pink ribbon, which I want to pair with the heart wreaths that I'm going to be making. And then I decided I could find a cute way to use these adorable little fabric hearts. I was actually going to make something like this, but these were 50% off. They were only $6, so $3. I don't even think I could buy the materials for that cheap, so I just bought them. Super cute. I'll figure out how I want to incorporate those. Okay, I didn't find a ton at the thrift store, but I did find this really pretty wreath that I kind of want to add to and spruce up. Now, I found this wreath after I had bought the florals to make a wreath for our front door, but I think this wreath might go somewhere else. I haven't decided where in our house, but probably not the front door. But I still think it's really cute. So here's the wreath, And I think if we touch that up a little, add some more details, I think this could be really pretty. In addition, I also thrifted a while ago, like months ago, these little heart dishes, and so I've got to go dig those out and see if I can find them, hopefully, fingers crossed, and I'll be able to incorporate them into my design too. So without further ado, let's get crafting. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Jenneca, and I make crafting, decorating, DIYing, and organizational videos designed to inspire creativity and resourcefulness because I believe that home is where you make it. The first project I wanted to tackle was our fireplace mantle. A few weeks ago when I cleaned up Christmas, I replaced the Christmas flowers with some of my fall flowers. I pulled out just the pink and red tones out of my fall foliage that you guys probably saw if you saw my fall decorating video. I didn't include more of the oranges. I wanted to keep it really light and obviously kind of Valentine's Day colored. So to go along with those flowers, I decided to make some garland and some other mantle decor. So to make that garland, I grabbed some scrap fabric. This fabric here came from a scarf that I thrifted, and this came from a sweater that I thrifted, and I've been slowly using pieces of that fabric to make different projects. I'm also going to be using an old dress that doesn't fit anymore that I've been slowly cutting up for various projects, and I'm just cutting little strips of each kind of fabric. After I had cut out all of my strips, I started tying them on into little clusters in a pattern. So I would tie a clump of 3 together, then leave a space, tie another group of 3 together, leave a space, and I just tied these onto a macrame string. I've done similar garlands for different holidays. If you've watched any of my other holiday decorating videos, this is kind of a go-to for me. It's simple and I think they're so cute, and it's a fun way to include different textures, patterns, and colors. To go also on the fireplace, I wanted to make some 3-dimensional hearts that would look like this. I cut these hearts out using my Cricut, but if you don't have a Cricut machine, you could totally cut them by hand. This just saved me time and energy. And I just basically cut out a ton of hearts. I used 3 different colors. One was this kind of pinkish, orangish color. Then I had this brown craft paper that was beautifully embossed with little white flowers. And then I had another patterned paper that kind of tied the 2 colors together. For every 3-dimensional heart you make, you'll need 1 heart in each color. And I made about 9 3-dimensional hearts, which means I cut out 9 of every single color. After I had cut out my hearts, I took my base, which was this orangish, reddish, pinkish color, and just put some hot glue down the middle, then grabbed my brown craft paper and softly folded it so there was a little bend to it, and then I grabbed my top layer and I folded that a lot harder so it had a firmer bend to it. And I was really happy with how these little hearts turned out. Next, it was time to add this decor to my fireplace mantle. I just used some sticky tack putty, like poster putty basically, to hang these hearts up, and so far they've stayed really well. I haven't really had them up with the fireplace running for long. Our fireplace does make things heat up quite a bit, so hopefully they stick even with the heat on. And then I added my garland, and overall, I think this turned out so cozy and super cute. Just a fun, simple little Valentine's touch and a fun place to cuddle up next to the fire. Next, it was time to make my heart-shaped wreaths. I grabbed those beaded wreaths and started bending them and was pleasantly surprised by how easy it was to make them into a cute little heart. I did that for all 3 of my wreaths, and then it was time to add some extra decor. Now, I really liked the simplicity of these. I think you could totally leave them as is and just tie like a simple ribbon around them. But I did want to try using those little wicker hearts that I got at the dollar store, so I put those in the center and tied them on with that pink ribbon and then just tied a little bow hanging down. And I think these turned out really cute. I think, again, you could keep it simple without the wicker heart, and both ways would be adorable, but they made cute wreaths for some of our indoor doors. This one was hanging on our pantry door. Next, I grabbed those little red flowers that I got at the dollar store, as well as those wooden hearts, and I just kind of tucked them into our Christmas wreaths just to kind of give them a Valentine's feel. They already have red in them, so I just kind of made them feel like Valentine's Day rather than Christmas. Next, I got to work on our table centerpiece. I used the same centerpiece as I did for Christmas with those dollar store candlesticks and candles, but I added those little red hearts that I got at Michael's to the center, as well as some baby's breath and little red flowers just to kind of freshen it up and give it more of a Valentine's Day feel. Adding these little Valentine's touches only took me a few minutes, and I think it turned out so cute. Next, it was time to start on our wreath for our front door. I got to work kind of disassembling the sprigs that I had bought so that I could attach them to a wreath wire frame. I experimented with a couple different wreath wire frames, but I ended up going with this really simple round one that I got in a pack at the dollar store around Christmas time. And at first I tried to glue on my sprigs, but they were just not staying, so I did end up wiring them, which I'm glad about because I know it'll last a lot longer. For my smaller flowers, I did end up gluing them on, but my bigger peonies I also wired on. If you want to learn a little bit more about wreath making and different ideas and techniques, I do have a wreath making video. It was a Christmas wreath making video, but the same principles can apply. But basically what I did with my design for this wreath is just kind of try to evenly disperse my little clusters of flowers throughout the wreath and then add in some smaller details after I had put in the bigger flowers. I added some little berry looking sprigs, and then it was time to make my little Valentine's hearts. So I grabbed that fabric that I got at Michael's and I just traced a heart onto it. I wish I would have done it on the back side so you couldn't see the pencil marks. I didn't really think of that beforehand. I made this stencil for this just out of paper. I just hand cut a little heart until I was happy with it. Then I used it as my stencil. I cut out these hearts and then I grabbed some embroidery floss. I wanted it to be thicker than thread because I actually wanted to be able to see my stitches. I wanted to have a very handmade and kind of playful, really too worried about my stitches being perfect. But I just did a very simple wrap stitch around the edges. Again, not really worrying about perfections. I'm really not much of a seamstress, but I just kind of did my best. And then I added some filling to give the heart some dimension, and then finished sealing up the side with some more stitches. And I made a few of these little hearts to go throughout my wreath, and I think it turned out really cute. Definitely not perfect, but still cute. So I actually just poked wire through the back of the heart in order to attach it, because like I said, I want these hearts to be removable. This won't always be a Valentine's wreath. It will be an Easter wreath, just a spring wreath, maybe even a summer wreath eventually. I also used some of those little leftover hearts that I had from Michael's and added those in as well to my wreath, and again just wired each of those on. And I am kind of torn about this because I like the way it looks just like this, kind of simple without anything extra, but I did end up tying on one of those little wicker hearts and adding some ribbon, and I'm still deciding if I like that or not. I might take it off later, we'll see. But overall, I think this wreath is super cute and festive, and it's nice to just bring some color and some life into our house. I did end up finding those little heart-shaped dishes that I got at the thrift store, so I used them on the coffee table, and I think I'll just fill them with some little candies or something to add a little bit of visual interest but still keep it simple. I might be adding some more Valentine's decor, so stay tuned in my shorts and over on Instagram. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.